All right. 2025 is here. Happy New Year. Hope you guys are enjoying it. It's time to work. You know what I'm saying? It's time to work. So without further ado, this is Rapid Picks video for Dern taking on Amanda Ribas. That's right. We are back and we got a nice one. This is a stat card. 14 fights on here, and I hope all of them stay true. I hope all of them, stay there. They don't get canceled. You know what I'm saying? But it's still kind of early at the time of this recording. It's still January 1st. Anything can happen, but we don't waste your time in here. You know how we do things. It's Rapid Picks. Let's get it. So we are going to go with the very first fight, the main event, Mackenzie Dern taking on Amanda Ribas. And I'll tell you this right now, this is a much different fight because you got two different ladies. Their very first fight, they were kind of new. They were highly inexperienced. And I got to tell you, Amanda Ribas was, the much better fighter that night. Not because she won, but it was much evident in the way she was striking, the way she was defending takedowns. Mackenzie Dern was a little bit more flabby. I think she's a little bit more athletic. She's a little bit more game, a little more seasoned. This is a different Mackenzie Dern's. There's a lot of value on the dog here. I personally liking the dog for Dern here because I think, like I said, from their very first fight, she's just a much better fighter. There's been progression. She's working on her hands. I think her takedown game is a little bit more. I think she's more of a ferocious fighter. She was more of a jiu-jitsu nerd in their very first outing. You know what I'm saying? Amanda Ribas was always that striker, but Amanda Ribas, man, we already know her game. That, pop, 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 1, 2, pop, pop, pop. She's very hittable. She gets hit a lot. In most of her fights, she's getting knocked out. Just like Amanda Ribas. I'm not saying Amanda Ribas not getting knocked out, but yeah, I just personally think that from the very first fight to now, the growth potential is much better with Mackenzie Dern. I think she's just evolved a little bit more, and she got a lot of things in her toolbox. I think her submission game is really good. I think her takedown accuracy and her skill wise, I think a little better, and plus she's a better striker coming into this rematch. So I'm gonna say Mackenzie Dern is a viable dog here. Let's look at some odds because we gotta look at the odds. So here you have currently Amanda Ribas is the 2-1, a little bit more than 2-1 favorite, minus 218 to a dog plus 180 on DraftKings, and that plus 180 is good. You can also consider the round line. Now, that's not posted. That's going to be for our next show, Make the Bet, where we actually going to go straight to the bookies, and we're going to take some lines and make the bet. You know what I'm saying? But for now, you can start considering the round line. You can start maybe considering the dog play here, but that would be a straight shooter. We're not going to parlay this dog play. We don't want to, pick everything right and have this one, die on us. So definitely a straight picker here, a viable dog. I will say this. I think from the, the growth potential, like I said, I think from the very first fight, Amanda Ribas is good. She definitely fought high competition. But just in terms of evolution and at this stage of the game, both of them are 31. I just like Mackenzie. Let's go over some stats really quick. So here you have, Mackenzie Dern just slightly bigger, 5'4" to 5'3". Age-wise, they're pretty much the same. This is a women's strawweight bout, so it's going to be a 115er. Now you see the last weight for Amanda Ribas is 125, where she lost, but that's because she's been jumping between 115 and 125. Mackenzie Dern's been, I think, pretty much consistent at 115 here. Their striking differential, 3.43 versus 4.63 favoring Amanda Ribas. We do know that. Like I said, she is definitely that 1-2 pop puncher, but look at the significant strikes. They're pretty much at 50%. So maybe Mackenzie is not throwing a lot or as much. She's still landing at a pretty much comparable percentage here. The takedown is favoring Amanda Ribas, and she actually had the takedown advantage in the first fight. I don't think it's going to play much dividend over here because I think Mackenzie Dern is just like a little bit better, like I said, coming into the second fight. So I like that. In terms of the takedown accuracy, obviously it's going to favor Amanda Ribas. But like I said, man, that submission threat is going to be live there. So being a little bit better jiu-jitsu practitioner, she definitely got the arm bar going, the triangle going. So that submission threat is definitely going to be scaring Amanda Ribas here. So I'm gonna pick the dog here. Let's see what happens. Let's move forward. All right, we got a nice one in the co-main event. We got Ponzi taking on Carlston Harris, man. This is a good fight, if you ask me. It's definitely a nice competitive fight. Good co-main event in a fight night. I'm not, hating it. You look at the age; they're both up there. You don't got none of them. None of these fighters are like coming out fighter or whatever. They're pretty seasoned fighter at this point, so you know what they're gonna bring to the table. So it's kind of makes our job just that much easier when you break this down. You know what Santiago Ponzinibbio is bringing to the table. He's bringing the heart. He's bringing that experience. 30-8 record. You know what I'm saying? He's been a pretty seasoned. Pretty high caliber UFC welterweight, a contender at one point. He has the striking advantage, 4.74 to 3.18 here. I think he also has the wrestling. Now I know the takedown is favoring Carlston. I just don't think Carlston Harris has never ever fought a more seasoned fighter like Ponzi. So I'm gonna go with Ponzinibbio here. Now, currently, it's a pick'em fight. Let's look at the odds. We got Ponzinibbio. Where's Ponzinibbio? These lines are just a little bit. It's harder to gauge here. So we got a pick'em over here, as you can see, minus 112, minus 108. I'm gonna say Ponzinibbio. Now, the only real scare thing over here is or a red flag. Is he hasn't been doing very well. You know what I'm saying? He's only 1 out of 5 in his last fights. He lost a split decision to Salikov. But look, Salikov, she just had a knockout of like freaking of the year almost. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, you can't say anything about Salikov. A very seasoned fighter, but definitely, going a split decision over there. He got knocked out by Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland, say what you want, is a fast, dynamic striker. So I can definitely see him edging out the power and speed. So, that knockout kind of makes sense. He won against Alex Morono, had a split against Michel Pereira. That was a tough fight 2 years ago where Michel Pereira kind of showed us the growth potential where he just, took it down. He was very methodical, and he was able to edge out a split decision against Michel Pereira, who's been knocking dudes out too, you know what I'm saying, submitting them in like the very first round. So that doesn't look bad. The split decision against Jeff Neal, a pretty seasoned fighter as well, a high caliber fighter in a welterweight division. So all of these fights, man, high caliber fights, losses. So, there is some, there's something to take away from there. So let's look at his opponent, Carlston Harris. What is he bringing to the table? He's bringing the same physicality. He's a 6-footer, a 1 year age difference. He definitely has the reach advantage. As you can see, 3 reach advantage. What else? His strike accuracy is good. He's, when he throws, he definitely connects. In his last 5 fights, he's decent. You know what I'm saying? He just got knocked out by Chaos Williams, but Chaos Williams is definitely known to throw a punch and knock dudes out of the park. You know what I'm saying? So that it is kind of understandable. What else? He went to a win against Jeremiah Wells. He got a unanimous decision against Jaron Gooden. In a fight where I thought he should have had a finish against Jaron Gooden. Nothing against Jaron Gooden. I don't think highly of him. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, he got knocked out by Rakhmonov. That's a pass, right? That's a pass. That's Rakhmonov, who's going to be fighting for the strap. And then, he knocked out Impa Kanzangane, which looks good because Impa Kanzangane, who just got knocked out in the PFL, he was making noise, a former PFL champion. You know what I'm saying? So, In summary, we are gonna basically close this out and say we're picking Ponzinibbio here. I think Ponzinibbio at this stage, with his, as long as he doesn't get knocked out, which is always, it's a MMA fight, that's always, possible. But we're gonna go with Ponzi. I'm pretty confident. I would say, like a 6, 7 out of 10 confidence level. I think Ponzi gets it done. So that's gonna be my pick. Let's move forward. All right, next fight. We got a good one, man. We got Cesar Almeida taking Abdul Razak ALHASSAN. This is a good fight, you know what I'm saying? Also, up in there, age 36-year-old Almeida here, making his, transition from the kickboxing world. And I think he has a win against Alex Pereira. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he has a win against Alex Pereira. So there's definitely a little backstory to that. Let's see, physically 6'1" to 5'10", but Abdul Razak is a very small, a compact 5'10", stocky guy, huge arms, you know what I'm saying? The reach advantage, 1-inch reach advantage, 3 years of youth over a 39-year-old vet, Abdul Razak. So that's definitely a good thing. He striking advantage, he's definitely the better striker, without a doubt. But Abdul Razak, in a fight exchange, he packs power. Although he got knocked out by Chaos Williams too, that's something to remember. Now, look at the value here. Let's look at the odds really quick. Like I said, this thing is all out of order, so it's hard for me. Bear with me. I'm gonna have to find it. All right, so here it is. The current line plus 240 on Abdul Razak ALHASSAN. Cesar Almeida -2. He's almost 290, almost 3-1 favorite. I'm gonna have to agree with this line. I do think Cesar Almeida is the rightful pick here. I'm gonna go with this, not just because the odds are telling me, but I just think in a clash of fighting style, there's just more power to Cesar Almeida. The only thing that worries me, and I'll tell you this right now, the only thing that worries me is his loss to Kopylov over here, and that's because Kopylov, won a split decision win, but he basically won by grinding out Almeida for 3 rounds, taking him down, not fighting, hand-to-hand combat. And we know Kopylov is a high-level, knockout artist himself, heart of a champion, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't give up. So I have lots of love for Roman Kopylov. But in this fight, I gotta be objective. And I think after that loss, he definitely went back to the drawing boards. He definitely practiced his takedown defense. And I believe he has enough power, stamina, and experience at this point in the game to stuff some takedowns from Abdul Razak ALHASSAN, pick the shots, and even knock him out, believe it or not. Because I do think Abdul Razak's chin is a little bit suspect at this point. 39 years, been knocked out before, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go with the obvious pick, you know what I'm saying? Cesar Almeida is gonna be the pick. And obviously, that's a parlay piece because I'm never going to tell anyone in their right mind to play this man -300 in a straight play. That's just not playable. That's just, you know what I'm saying? If you guys have any questions on straight picks and kind of odds and you want me to review that video and you want me to make that, comment down below, I'll definitely do it. But the pick is going to be Cesar Almeida. Let's move forward. All right. Speaking of which, we got a nice one. We got Roman Kopylov taking on Chris Curtis, and this is a tough fight for me to break down. You know what I'm saying? This is a tough fight because I kind of like both guys. Like I said, I do like Roman Kopylov. I've been picking Roman Kopylov a lot. I think he only let me down once from the time that I started betting him. Physically, Kopylov is slightly bigger, 6-footer to 5'10". This has to be a stand-up striking battle because Chris Curtis, trains with Sean Strickland. We know that. So there's no way Romanov comes here and out wrestles Chris Curtis. I think he kind of got that in the pack. And the pick is going to be Romanov. And that's the bottom line. Let's go. Let's get it. All right. We got bout here. Christian Rodriguez versus Austin Bashi. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who this dude Austin Bashi is. However, he is a moderate favorite here. He is a like almost 2-1 favorite against Christian Rodriguez. Minus 225, and Christian Rodriguez is plus 185. Now you know Christian Rodriguez is that mother effer too. You know, he's been spoiling debuts for a while. That's what he's known over here. You know what I'm saying? Bulgarian, Sayman, Rosas, you know what I'm saying? He's been that guy who's been spoiling, coming in as a dog and just spoiling some debuts here. I personally don't have a lot of knowledge on Austin Bashi. He is a 13-0 and undefeated fighter. I gotta be honest with you, at this point of stage, I hate betting on a debuting fighter at minus 200 odds. If it's pick'em, flip a coin, straight shooter, bang bang if you have to. But boy, a debuting fighter, against Christian Rodriguez, 11-2. He's a well-rounded fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's a scary proposition. If anything, that's dog all day or maybe live play at best. I won't have a particular pick here. I'm sorry for that. Just don't have the odds. But if you ask me, man, where the value is, it's going to be Christian Rodriguez. He's battle tested. He's been in the UFC. He's well-rounded. He got strikes. He got wrestling. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the stats alone, he's going to be a slightly bigger guy. And at 27, a 27-year-old is a little bit more wiser. He's dialing in his potential. He's definitely the more man strength over here. Yeah, I just don't like it. 23 is very green for my liking. The striking advantage is pretty much the same. Actually, it's favoring Christian Rodriguez over here. You know, the takedowns, I guess that's where it is. The guy just a takedown machine, Austin Bashi. So they think that he's just gonna come in and ragdoll Christian Rodriguez. I have to see a little bit more tape. I gotta see this guy in action. There's no way in hell I'm gonna bet a debuting fighter at minus 235, 245, whatever the hell, minus 225. No way in hell am I gonna sit here and say, so I don't have a pick here. If you ask me personally where the value is, it's probably Christian Rodriguez, you know what I'm saying? Just because he's that mother effer who's known time and time again to spoil people's debuts, you know what I'm saying? And he's just takes the undefeated streak from people. So if anything, that's where the value. I personally don't have a confident pick. Sorry, let's move forward. All right, Punahale taking on Uros Medic. Okay, this is a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Both men are like, it is what it is. Age-wise, they're pretty much the same kind of age group, 32, 31, physically 5'11". You know, Punahale a little more stockier, you know, definitely on the muscular side. Uros Medic on a little more leaner side. Reach advantage, as you can see, 72.5 to 71, like a 1.5 reach advantage. Striking, but they both southpaw. You know, the fighting landing per minute, the volume is pretty much the same with a slight favor to Uros Medic. The takedown is where I think is going to be the differential. If I'm Punahale, man, I'm wrestling Uros Medic all day. I don't want to fight him. I think he's a technical fighter. I think he can outpoint me. He definitely packs a lot of power. Let's look at the last 5 fights for Uros Medic over here. It's good, right? He has a loss to Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner is just that dude, man. Jalen Turner, you know, I know his record is not pretty, but Jalen Turner is that dude. I don't care what anybody says. He's long as shit, like 6'3" for the weight class. You know, he just got a lot of tools. He's a very high underrated fighter. You know, knocked out Morales here. Omar Morales knocked out Semmelsberger. Got submitted by Oralby. You know what I'm saying? Oralby kind of surprised everybody with that submission. And he knocked out Tim Memes. So that's kind of where this guy is. Punahale, probably doing the same kind of level of body work here. So here you have a nice win against Baeza. That's actually a good win, if you ask me. He lost to Stolfus via submission. He got knocked out by Roman Kopylov. Won against Lumgimbula, Dolchad Lumgimbula, and he has a split loss against Maximov. Man, I'm gonna say Punahali definitely is gonna be the pick here. He smells like the right pick. He's definitely a dog here. He's known to come and spoil. Every time he's a favorite, he kind of loses. Every time he's a dog, he wins. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go with Punahali. I think he's just a much more, I think he's a stupid fighter. I will tell you that much. But I think overall, physically, he's the better fighter. He should win on paper. In my book, he should win. The only way he's going to lose if he's just stupid. So implement the takedown. I think he definitely has the power to take, Eurosmedic down. Keep him, ground control, ground and pound. You know what I'm saying? Do you think win the fight? But, Eurosmedic is just that dude that's a little bit more technical. So if 2-1 favorite, I don't want to bet him any other. If he goes higher, hell no. But Punahali definitely has some value here. Like I said, mentally I think he's a little bit stupid, which I don't like. But I think tremendous value on Punahali, plus 170. He has the power. He has the wrestling. He basically has everything to win this fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be my pick, man. That's another dog pick. So let's move forward. Alrighty, we are now in the prelims. This year, I'm gonna have a new objective. I'm not gonna focus a lot on the prelims. I'm gonna be more in the main cards, in the main fights, so on the main card. But still, I'm gonna see what I can tell you. This fight right here, this is a trash fight. I'm sorry to say that. I don't like this fight. Just my personal opinion. You got a 35-year-old against a 29-year-old Jose Johnson. Jose is actually not a bad fighter. He's not. I think he's a good fighter. I don't know where they're getting this striking landed per minute, 2.2. That's kind of low. I do think he throws punches. But I mean, listen, 13-7 Felipe Bunes, man, 35 years old. He's undersized here. Can he surprise us? Yeah, I guess he can. You know what I'm saying? He got knocked out against Joshua Van. Bad look. Jose Johnson. What is Jose Johnson doing? Let's see. In the last 5 outings, he's kind of splitting them, all right? He came in, Dana White won, lost his debut against Damon Blackshear. But Damon Blackshear is actually a good fighter, so low-key. Then he won against Anglier. And he lost against ALMEIDA, who's, a Kazakhstani wrestling machine. So I definitely see that. But, Jose Johnson, man, he definitely got the swag. Definitely has more experience against Felipe Bunes. He should win this fight. But I will never, and I mean never, ever, forever, don't ever bet this guy, and at least not in this fight at minus 200. You know what I'm saying? If this was more of a pick 'em fight, yeah, sure, take a stab, bet him straight. Now he's creeping what? My almost 2-1 favorite here. Let me see. Officially, right now he's minus 198 on DraftKings, 200 on BetMGM, minus 215 at BetRivers, minus 225 in FanDuel. So people are betting him. If you are considering betting him, that could be your a second leg parlay, you know what I'm saying? Maybe. But don't go balls to the wall with this one. And skip it if you have to, because I am. Skipper. Next. Alrighty. We got Marco Tulio taking on Ihor Topuria. And I'm going to go on the record here. I think Ihor Potieria is just trash. And that's why he's in the prelim. I think he's just trash, guys. Let's see. I'm just going to go straight to the line. This guy is, where are you? Marco, right here. Marco, minus 400, minus 485. Lord have mercy. On this Marco. 12-1 record. 30 years of age. Bro, he's gonna win this fight. There's no, I don't give a damn what. He's gonna win this fight. He's definitely a parlay piece. Can he come in and drop the ball? Yes, he can. I just think Ihor Potieria is just absolute ass. And I'm going to say he's getting knocked the fuck out. I'm sorry to say this. I had to curse. He's getting knocked out here. This guy right here, man, this guy right here, he got 12-1. He got 8 wins by knockout. Yeah, he's going to knock this guy out. I'm talking about Ihor Potieria is going to have to hug the living shit out of Marco Tulio. Not to get knocked out because he's been doing that. But, yo, I'm telling you, I'm going to take Marco Tulio money line. I think he's going to knock him out personally. So the prop is there. But, yeah, we're going to go with Marco. That's probably the only debuting fighter that I'm going to say I'm going to put my money on. And I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right. You know, but if you don't want to bet a debuting fighter, as my advice says, you shouldn't. And you shouldn't skip this fight, but I think this is the right pick. You know what I'm saying? Let's just makes sense. Ihor Potieria is just trash. Next. All right. We got a very, very high caliber in a shitty side. You know what I'm saying? Thiago Moises. I think Thiago Moises is a very underrated fighter. Obviously, his record is ass. It's 18-8. He's 5'11". His last fight, I believe, was a catchweight. This is a lightweight bout, though. So it's going to be a 155. So Trey Ogden's going to have to definitely make that weight here. Thiago Moises, he's definitely a tactician. He's definitely a much younger fighter, 29-35. I think Thiago Moises wins this fight. He has the tools to do it everywhere. He can strike. He can wrestle, especially wrestle. His line is listed as what, 2-1 favorite right now. Thiago -2. I definitely, if anything, I could see myself putting Thiago Moises in a parlay. I don't think Trey Ogden is a very high caliber fighter, especially at lightweight. Let's see. You know, he definitely has 2 wins though. You know that Loic Rajnabov, that's a good win. That's definitely a good win. But Rajnamov, he just gasses out. So once he gasses out, he's out of here. Hannibal, whatever, right? Kurt Hannibal, who cares? You know, he lost to Baja Mendes, but he went to a decision. So Daniel Zellhuber, you know, he beat Daniel Zellhuber. I forgot he beat Daniel Zellhuber. Wow, I forgot about that one. Trey Ogden beat Daniel Zellhuber. But you know what? Daniel Zellhuber, he's been fucking dropping the ball. He lost against Ribas in a split decision loss. So let's see what Moises is doing. Moises, on the other hand, you know, he's not fighting like, I think he's fighting pretty killers. So, you know, he lost twice in the last 5, got knocked out on 1, lost a unanimous decision against Ludwig Klein. But Ludwig Klein is actually a very underrated fighter as well. You know, he definitely has a good record. He's pretty much good everywhere. He's clean. Ludwig Klein is actually clean. So it is what it is. He got knocked out by, you know, Benoit Saint-Denis. That's when Benoit Saint-Denis was like, I'm making up a big run. He won Ramirez by a knockout. He submitted Costa. He won Giagos by submission. I'm going to say the money is with Thiago Moises. Anything more than 200 is blasphemy. So if you are going to play him, if you are considering playing him, I think he's the better fighter. I think he's a better martial artist. But Trey Ogden, man, he could surprise us. But, you know, their records are pretty similar. 18-8, 18-6. What's another loss? And become 18-7 to Trey Ogden. But I just think Thiago Moises just has a little bit more in his toolbox. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the youth is definitely on this guy. It's definitely on this guy for sure. 29-35. That's a big difference. That's like 10-year difference almost. You know what I'm saying? That's how significant. I know it's only 6, but MMA years, you know, we can make it almost 10. Because once you hit 35, it's downhill and it's downhill in MMA. So we're gonna go with Thiago Moises. Pretty confident on this guy. This is gonna be the pick here. You know what I'm saying? Let's move forward. But yeah, don't put too much stock on it. It's a prelim. You know what I'm saying? Take it easy. Take it easy. All right, we got Preston Parsons taking on Andreas Gustafsson, man, that's a nice name, right? Gives us some flashback memories. And you got another debuting fighter, Gustafsson, right? 33 years of age, got a splendid KO win on Dana White in the second round. He has 3 knockouts in a row here. That looks good in people's eyes. He's going to be the favorite coming here. I hate betting the favorite, especially in debuting fighters, because, well, I think Preston Parsons is not bad. I know his record is kind of shitty, 11-5, but, you know, he comes in shape. He's always game. I know he lost to Oban Elliott. Oban Elliott is actually, you know, a very decent fighter. You know, he won Semmelsberger, got a split decision loss against Trevin Giles in 23, won against Elder. Damn, I forgot he lost to Daniel Rodriguez. He got knocked. He got knocked out in 2021. Yeah, D-Rod was still kind of relevant back then. I forgot about that. I kind of see where the value is. You know, I hate to pick a dog here because I kind of wanted to pick a dog just because I like to fade my debuting fighters. I'm gonna say I don't know. I'm going to be honest and I'm going to say I don't know. I'm probably going to say this is a skipper for me because I can't really trust Parsons, but I know he got the wrestling. You know what I'm saying? And Andreas Gustafsson has been knocking dudes out. He's 33 years of age, debuting fighter. You know, takedown accuracy 66%. Also takes people down, man. Okay, so you know what? Gustafsson. Nah, man, I can't pick him. He's too green. I don't know. He's not proven. He's just not proven. I don't know this. I don't know. Skipper. No bet. Run. Take your money and run. No way. I made my decision. This is Skipper. Next. All right. We got a ladies fight here. We got Ernesta. Whatever that last name is, because I'm not going to pronounce it. Taking on Nicole Lee or Nicole Cagliari. I think I got that right. Yeah, so that's a good luck to you kind of fight. That's a skipper, automatic. When you don't know who is fighting girls, MMA, we're not betting that fight. Gone. Next. All right. Magomed Gadzhiyasulov, an undefeated fighter here, 6'2", taking on Bruno Lopes, 13-1. I know it says 1-1 here, but yeah, his official record is actually 13-1. So yeah, you got a name like Mogamed with a last name you can't pronounce but it ends in OV. You look at the takedown, 5.5. You look at the accuracy. Yeah, we're gonna take Magomed Gadzhiyasulov. But that Brazilian dude, man, he got power. He definitely has power, scary power. But yeah, we're gonna have to go with the Gadzi. I think he's gonna stay undefeated here. But this is a good fight. Just forget betting for a second. I think this is a good fight. They're both huge men. They both got skills, crazy skills on that. Obviously, the wrestling is where the real threat here is. If it's a stand-up fight, Bruno Lopes he's definitely game. You look at the striking, definitely game. You look at the skills-wise, definitely game. You know, light heavyweight, big boys, definitely. This is a fun fight. But, you know, the real threat here from a betting perspective is definitely going to be Magomed. So that wrestling, as long as he doesn't get tired, because we don't know how his cardio is going to look in this fight, because that's to this date will be his toughest competition. So that's going to be tested here. You know, how long he's going to be going for the takedowns. And if he can keep that cardio going, I'm gonna have to go with Magomed here. I really do. I liked what I saw on his debut. I like the skills that he was showing me. Let's see. He has 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He went to a decision with Ribeiro, so he kind of got his jitters out. You know, he had a nice decision win on Dana White's contender against Medina. So it's just, he's definitely a much what would I say, a very patient fighter, you know, a tactician, because you know how these dudes are. You know, they wrestle, they grind you out, they control you. So yeah, and if actually we can actually look at the stats here. Let's find that fight right here. So he came in at minus 370. He threw 93 total strikes. He had 26 significant strikes. He outlanded the head strikes 50-6. But I mean, you know what I mean? Look at the control. Look at the control. I mean, that's 9 minutes, guys. That's just 9 minutes. So it's kind of what you got to know. If he takes down his opponent, he's gonna win the fight. And I think he should be able to get the Brazilian down. And I'm gonna stick with this pick. I'm gonna say Magomed wins this fight. Let's go. Let's get it. All right. Next fight is crazy. Fatima KLINE is minus 800 against Victoria Dudakova. Bro, minus 800. Fatima KLINE. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're just not going to do that because, well, she comes in here against Jasudavicius and she loses. Obviously, it's Jasudavicius. Okay, we appreciate that. Dudakova, you know what I'm saying? Split decision loss against Hughes. Yeah, that was tough. That was tough. But until then, look, Fry win. This was a freak win against Estelle Nunes where she broke her arm. You know, Dudakova was kind of making some good noise, but Fatima KLINE is minus 800. That's just insane to me. Let's move forward. Opening the card, finally, this is the first fight. And you know, my rule is never bet the first fight. And you know what? It's always going to be never bet the first fight. But if you must, because you are a degenerate, and you're looking to bet this fight, I'm going to say don't bet this fight. But if you have to. I hate doing this, right? Because I kind of want to bet Nurullo ALIEV. ASHMOUZ is game, though. I'm not going to say shit about ASHMOUZ. ASHMOUZ is game. But just history-wise, Nurullo ALIEV versus Yanel ASHMOUZ. That's just kind of classic, right? A Muslim versus a Jewish person. It's gonna be a classic. It's gonna be a battle. That's all I'm gonna say. It's gonna be a battle. Nurullo ALIEV, you know, not undefeated, 24-year-old. Yanel ASHMOUZ, you know, he got the power, he got the wrestling. You know, I think his second fight, he kind of dropped the ball. He was just a little bit slow. Slow starter here. The reach advantage is gonna be on Nurullo ALIEV. You know, a very, very high prospect from Tajikistan. You know, I think he might be the only undefeated fighter that's a prospect from Tajikistan. Correct me in the comment section if you think I'm wrong. The takedown average, you know, 3 to 4. Like I said, they're both kind of neutralized out. This is a really good fight. This is going to be a good test for Nurullo ALIEV. I'm going to lean Nurullo ALIEV, but there's no way in hell. If you think I'm going to sit here and tell you to bet Nurullo ALIEV minus 500 in the very first fight of the night, and imagine he gets robbed very first fight of the night, as we've seen the same repetitive story happen over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, we're just not gonna do that. So minus 500 Nurullo ALIEV pick. Okay, no bet. No bet, because we don't bet the very first fight unless you're Islam Makhachev, you feel me? Or you're some undefeated Uzbekistan fighter, because that's the only two exceptions I have. But yeah, Nurullo ALIEV is definitely going to be where I'm lining with. But Yanel ASHMOUZ can actually surprise everybody and their mother. And he can beat Nurullo ALIEV because I think he's more seasoned. He's more battle tested. You know what I'm saying? Just for funsies, let's see what ASHMOUZ did. So ASHMOUZ comes in against Sam Patterson, a tall dude, and knocks him out in the very first round. Against Chris Duncan, he just looks slow. That was the fight that I was remembering. He looks very slow. He just wasn't there. But against Trevor Peek, that was a good fight. And you know, Trevor Peek comes to bang. So that was actually a really good fight. We can actually go and take a look at the stats over here. I remember it being definitely a great fight, a very entertaining fight. I believe I picked ASHMOUZ in that fight. It was a kind of a near pick 'em fight, and I loved it. Great value, great control, 8 minutes of control. So like I said, He's not going to be fish out of water against ALIEV, and he can definitely burn a lot of tickets and have you just start chasing. So do yourself a favor, skip the fight if you have to. Just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Just enjoy it. Enjoy it, guys. Anyway, this was my first rapid picks. Although I kind of went a lot. Yeah, I kind of did a lot. It's just 14 fights, guys. I wanted to give you guys as much as detail as possible. So, yeah, that kind of concludes it. Thank you so much. If you stayed this long, you guys are true champs. I love you guys. Like and subscribe. It's 2025. It's time to make some money. It's time to be smart. Skip a fight when you got to. You don't got to bet the whole card. It's 14 fights, guys. 14 fights. Do your homework. Watch the line movement. Stay blessed. Go to gym. Go to gym. And, yeah, I'll see you on the flip side. I'm outie.